What's going on today, guys? Ironically, we're out spraying warm season grass and it is warm today. It is like 4,000. It's hot. Anyway, this little complex thing out here is mostly centipede. There's a couple of Bermuda things out here, Bermuda yards. Primary weeds I'm seeing out here are things like Lesbodeza, a little bit of clover type stuff, Bahia grass, crabgrass, and Virginia buttonweed. Not gonna do much with crabgrass in centipede right now. Plus it's hot, so I don't really want to spray anything too brutal on it. I'm spraying change up at 32 ounces an acre, half an ounce of methylfuron an acre, and a little bit of something called multi-spread, multi-stick. It's just a surfactant in there. It's like a James Bond combination of seed oil and silicone and fulvic acid and Dr. Pepper or something, I don't know. But anyways, it's got a lot of crap in it. Anyway, it's hot. I say it was hot. All right, so I'll show you a couple weeds here. I've already got it sprayed and a little fertilizer thrown down on it, and we'll move on. Stand by for a weed showing. I'm standing, this little guy here all down low in the ground is Lesbodeza. Alright, Lesbodeza. Let's find some other stuff. This is one of the Bermuda sections. There's some crabgrass in this. You can spray this with Drive, quinclorac. You want to be with quinclorac and methylated seed oil, or this James Bond surfactant I got would be even better. Thing with killing crabgrass in this Bermuda when it's this hot, you're going to do some collateral damage to the grass. I think I'm going to mix up a spot spray, the backpack, and just spray some of this crabgrass area to make it look like I got something accomplished. There may be some collateral damage to this Bermuda turf, but this is not exactly beautiful Bermuda turf, so I don't really care. For this crabgrass throwdown, you want about 1.5 ounces of quinclorac. You're gonna want a gallon of water. It's for the backpack now. So about 1.5 ounces of quinclorac, a gallon of water, a 1/2 ounce of some 4-pound 2,4-D ester, and about a 1/2 ounce of that surfactant. Again, in this hot weather, expect collateral damage, but that's sure-fired on crabgrass right there. I can't see the phone because it's so damn bright out here, but I think I'm in it. All right. And we'll continue this conversation about this deal here in the air-conditioned comfort of the truck before I leave. I was just writing this place up in the book up there, and realized the last application I made here was in the early spring, and that was Certainty and Change Up, I think, but I gotta look at it. But Certainty was involved. I would say the place is pretty clean. Crabgrass is really the main offender out here, and obviously that wouldn't have done anything to help you with crabgrass. But there's not Sedge 1 out here, so that Certainty definitely had some good effect. That early Certainty application of suppressing those sedges and keeping them down, keeping them out of the way, because I don't see any sedges out here. So thumbs up for Certainty on that application. What was I on? Oh, the quinclorac 2,4-D deal, only on Bermuda. Don't put that on centipede, and in warm weather expect collateral damage. And something that I've always talked about but was just reminded at NC State Field Day that's probably good to say about that application is works good on small tillered crabgrass, like 1 or 2 tillers, or great big old crabgrasses. But intermediate crabgrass, not so good. That's quinclorac in general. So there's your quinclorac crabgrass dealio. We'll hit this one out here. He's got this Bermuda up front, he's got some buttonweed and some lesbidiza. He's got centipede outside of this circle. Well, probably the same thing in that. Like I said, buttonweed's pretty thick in here. I don't know. I can see the coverage from the spray I just put on it gleaming. But this change up at 32 ounces an acre and methylfuron at ½ ounce an acre is a pretty effective spray on Virginia buttonweed. It's got some dollar weed or penny wart there too, but this combination should be pretty effective on that as well. Celsius also very good on that. I think there's even a picture of it on the sticker. This one's pretty clean. I did a SureGuard glyphosate on this over the winter, and when I did, I had pulled my trailer up here and probably had my trailer parked right along this shoulder and didn't get that SureGuard up under the trailer, but I got a lot of crabgrass breakthrough right there on the shoulder of the road. Not a whole heck of a lot going on out here. Some sedges, some buttonweed right there in the ditch drain there. I'm gonna spray this thing with Monument. I'm gonna put out some fertilizer here, and that just is gonna give me a minute to get on my soapbox here. I'm gonna tell you what I'm putting out first. This is one I get blended. It's 1808. Half the nitrogen comes from a slow release urea, and the other half comes from ammonium sulfate. It's got sulfate of potash, some biosolids, 5% iron. Banging product. But here's my issue. I could get this 6 months ago for a certain price, and today it cost me $200 more a ton than it did then. So inflation is real, people. But you know, I'm just a turf guy. I can just raise my prices, whatever, and it's fine. But who uses more fertilizer than anybody? Farmers, people, your food. So the price of this particular fertilizer up $200 a ton doesn't even have a lot of nitrogen in it, and one of the main drivers in price right now is urea. Urea is getting crazy expensive, so farmers' cost of inputs are going way up, so your cost at the grocery store is going to go way up. So just put that in your pipe and smoke it and think about it. But anyway, I'm done now. All right, well, we're gonna get out and make the yard pretty. ½ ounce of Monument per acre, 32 ounces change up. Monument's excellent on sedges and some other broadleaves, taking warm season grass out, cool season grass out of warm season grass, that kind of thing. Love me some Monument. And change up will be good for whatever broadleaves that the Monument will miss, and whatever else. Yeah, we ought to smoke that buttonweed, things like that. And then, of course, and put about 200 pounds an acre of this 1808. And then crabgrass breakout, pretty typical along the edges of the curve there. I don't know if the pre-emergent gets broken when they edge it. Well, if they edge it. But otherwise, pretty good. Pretty clean yard. Happy with this one. I sprayed a Subdivision here a few times a year for the guy who mows it, but I'm gonna check on it today. And this particular homeowner, I PGR his stuff every now and again for him to tighten it up. It's pretty tight for centipede right there. He's got hybrid Bermuda in the back, but it looks pretty damn good out here. I put the old Celsius and Dismiss combo on this thing, I don't know, a month or so ago, maybe a little longer than that at this point, and put a little bit of the Subvert 10010 on it. Is that what it's called? 10010? I can't remember, but it was whatever that Subvert is, that peptide power. Hot combination though. It looks pretty damn fertilized for nothing more than that, right? We'll do a drive-by on some of them. There's 50 some houses out here. I'm not gonna drive by all of them, but I had to come down here and turn around. So. off now. This is weird.
I muddled through the product description that I had used on that place, and it's not fair to do that because it's pretty important, because that housing development that looked so nice and green with the centipede only had 2 nutritive type applications made on it, and one of them was the early spring spray I did on it. I used the Subvert prefix along with the weed control product that I sprayed on it in the pre-emergent. And a few weeks ago, probably more like 4 weeks ago at this point, when I sprayed the Celsius and Dismiss, I used the Subvert Depth 10 Plus, and everything looked pretty green and lush. So I think that combination of the prefix and the Depth 10 Plus, really no other fertilizers added, had that thing pretty popping. I was kind of impressed with the color and the thickness of it. So there might be onto something there. That was a little bit of what I had going on yesterday. I kind of try to show you some of the weeds we were going after yesterday. We were spraying for things like these sedges, and for the sedges, these things like Monument, Certainty, Halosulfuron even sometimes. But in the video yesterday, we used Monument to do this. And we did have an example of some properties that we had sprayed earlier in the year with Certainty, and it seemed to have held fast and controlled those sedges. Earlier in the week, I went to the NC State Turf Field Day, and Fred Yelverton had a little talk where he was explaining some goosegrass control. In the past, what I've always done or tried to do with goosegrass is use something called Metribuzin, Simcore. But with Simcore, it's real imperative that you get that watered in after the application. He had a couple of tests that he had done on some applications that did not require watering in, and that works well for me because, you know, I have a lot of yards like mine over here and this one here that are non-irrigated, so I did not have the option to irrigate them. Thank you. What was that? Oh yeah, some non-irrigated options. One of them, well, here's some goosegrasses anyway. Here's one I pulled up yesterday, and it has suffered in the heat in the back of the truck, but you can easily identify it by that white eye in the center there. And here's a well fertilized one I just pulled up in my yard on the ditch bank over there. The eyeball isn't quite as visible, but he's growing a lot of leaves. All that crap I put on my yard pumped him up. But anyway, so got some non-irrigated options that Fred had tested out there for goosegrass. Simcore has always been pretty effective on goosegrass, and I even have tried Simcore and Tenacity together, and that seems to do okay too. But when you throw that Tenacity in there, you're going to bleach out some Bermuda grass, cause some collateral damage. But Fred Yelverton at NC State had done some studies with Pilex, and I mean, guys have been using the Pilex on goosegrass for a while, but we got some university data to back it up now. he had some interesting combinations that you could use and not have to water in. He combined low rates of Simcore and low rates of Pilex, and had really good efficacy and didn't damage the turf that bad. It did not have to be watered in. Also very interesting to me is a low rate of Pilex with Speed Zone, and that from his charts looked pretty effective too. His little sample he had out there, I couldn't really tell. He just had some plots with a lot of weeds in them and a little sign on them. If I hadn't seen any goosegrass in them, but anyway, what he was talking about doing with the Pilex is 0.25 ounces of Pilex and 4 ounces of Metribuzin or Simcore, and didn't have to water it in. Said really good results on goosegrass and didn't damage the turf. And then also he had 0.25 ounces of Pilex combined with 4 pints of Speed Zone, and that looked like from his chart he had good results too, and didn't have to be watered in. And said that the somehow the Speed Zone with that low rate of Topramazone or Pilex did not damage the Bermuda turf. His words, it couldn't even tell you sprayed it, but goosegrass was gone. So awesome. All right, so there you go with that. So we did a little weed control yesterday. I'll summarize. We did some crabgrass control with a mixed concoction. Works good on small and large crabgrass. Good for Bermuda and zoysia. Did not use in centipede. The crabgrass control concoction we had was about, in the backpack sprayer, was about 1.5 ounces, about 1.5 ounces of quinclorac or drive, and about 1/2 ounce of 2,4-D ester, and a good surfactant, probably methylated seed oil, or the one I used is some kind of James Bond ag stuff that's supposedly super penetrative. But anyway, so we looked at some sedge control. You're controlled. How about that? Monument, certainty, even Sedgehammer, things like that are good sedge controls. All right, well, there's your little weed control summary and a little learning that I picked up from NC State the other day. So go out there and kill you some weeds. Thanks for watching.
Got one more little thing to add in here. Along the way, doing this weed control stuff, turf work, I have learned a ton, and I have had a lot of help. And if all of the guys that have helped me along the way still continue to help me would call in and say, hey man, I need you to pay me back, there ain't enough money, man. I couldn't do it. But I'll try to help out other guys too, and that's kind of what this turf thing is all about. We're all trying to help each other learn, and it's a healthy competition. But anyway, got a guy around here named Vance, and I had sold Vance my PPC Total Turf 5 Boom Deluxe sprayer once upon a time, and he's been using that and learning, and he called and said, man, I'm looking for a permagreen. So I found him a used permagreen that a guy was selling in his area. He went and picked it up. So Vance came out the end of last week with his new permagreen, and we calibrated, and I let him ride with me and spray some yards. So I got some free labor out of him, but hopefully he picked up a little something out of it. I don't know. But anyway, I shot some video of Vance learning to ride his permagreen. So here you go, let's watch this.
He's getting that sidewalk sprayed pretty good.
Got Vance out training on his new permagreen. I don't know what he just ran over. He's doing pretty good though. For the first time on one.